Hello fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle. It's Monday the 29th of July 2024. It's a holiday here in Thailand, public holiday. Yesterday was the King's birthday, so we get a day off in lieu of the King's birthday for yesterday being on a Sunday. And so we get to relax. Some people get to relax. I'm off later for a slap-up meal, I hope. Although it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. What's going on in the world? When we are forced into changing behavior, it can often have good results. Happy to report that over the past 10 years, the number of plastic bags found on beaches in the UK has decreased by 80%. That's great news, isn't it? That's when when the supermarket started charging for plastic bags and everybody complained, oh, it's inconvenient. We had the same thing here in Thailand a couple of years ago. We haven't had 10 years of that yet, but we do have a problem with plastic bags being found on beaches and in the ocean, of course, in the seas. Of course, every country has the same kind of problem. So it's good to see that kind of change in the law can have good effect. Right, welcome to the channel. If you're new, this is why am I talking about plastic bags and stuff? Because this is Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle, where I chat about anything that's on my mind, political, non-political, life, whatever I'm in the mood to chat about, as well as play a game of Sudoku. And the game of Sudoku that's going to be played right now by me is, that's very weird use of passive voice, is the Guardian's easy level game on a Monday. Every Monday the Guardian has an easy level game. I call it a beginner level game really, and I use that particular day to show how to play the game to absolute beginners. So I'll explain how to play the game. I don't know what's going on with my voice this morning. Excuse me, I'm repeating everything. I'll explain a third time. I'll explain how to play the game of Sudoku first before we get started. We have 9 squares in every row across. I didn't mean to leave that empty. We have 9 squares in every column down, and we have 9 squares in each of these blocks, these 3x3 blocks that are outlined in black. Okay, now you can see some are pristine. Some squares are pristine. Look, there are 9 empty squares up here, and there are 9 empty squares down in this column here. And then some columns and rows already have digits in. You can see 2, 8, 6, 5 in this column. What's the objective of the game? I think you could guess. It's to fill in the empty squares with digits. The lowest digit is 1, the highest digit is 9. That's because we only have 9 squares in each row, column and block. Now we use this idea of there only being 9 squares to say that a number can appear once only, and that means we can use logic to find the answer and solve the puzzle. How does it work? Okay, let's take a look at this section down here. Okay, we've got 1, 9, 4, 7 and 6 in this particular block, so we have some numbers that we don't yet have. For example, we don't yet have a 5 in this block, but that's how we're going to begin, because if we look at the 5s on the outside of this block, in particular this one and this one, we can see something. Okay, now remember, a number can appear in its row or column or block once only. So because we've got 5 in this row already, we know that 5 can't appear here or here. Right? Now we've got a 5 in this square here as well, and it means that 5 can't appear anywhere else in this row. So immediately these 3 squares are disqualified. I call that blocking. 5s are blocked from those 3 squares there, and there is only one empty square left. That's this empty square here, so we know that the 5 is going to appear in that square. Right, let's try again with this little block. Now there are only 3 empty squares now. We've got 1, 5. 5 is already done now. 9, 4, 7 and 6, but what we don't yet have is a 3. But we can see this 3 outside here, and we can do the same thing that we did with this 5 a moment ago, and we can say that neither of these two squares can be 3. So a 3 has to appear in that square. Excuse me, just there. Okay, got it? So all we need to do is look around and find similar kinds of things around. Now, what else can I show? Okay, so let's have a look at this row along the bottom here. We've got 1, 2, 4, 5, and 9. We don't yet have an 8 in this row. And so let's see if where we can put an 8. So let's see this square here. Can we put 8? No, because we've got an 8 here. And the same for this square here, because 8 cannot reappear in this block. Okay, so both of these two squares are disqualified from becoming an 8. What about this square here? Yeah, there's no reason why not. And what about this square here? Ah, now that one is definitely blocked because we've got an 8 up here blocking all the way down. So we know that 8 can't reappear in this column. So that means there's only this square here that's not affected by these two 8s. And so we know that the 8 is going to appear in that square there. Now, if any of this is too fast for you, you can just go back and watch the video again. Right, what's next? I'll try and find you the easiest things that I can. Okay. Now, sometimes we like to think forward a little bit when playing the game. So when you're using your eyes to go up and down the rows and columns like this, we can see the 4 blocking up here and the 4 blocking across here, right? Like this. So that's going to put a 4 into one of these two squares here. So we know a 4 is either here or here, but we don't know where yet, but it's in one of those two squares. But if a 4 appears here or it appears here, it means that for sure it can't be another one in this row. So these 3 squares are eliminated. So these 2 squares are eliminated here. These 3 squares are eliminated because 4 will appear either here or here. And then we can take this 4 from down here and block up there. So in this, even though we've only got 2 numbers here, we can immediately find a 4 here. Now there is another way to find that. You could have said 4 blocks these 2 squares and 4 blocks this square. And so 4 has to go there. So you'll see that there is more than one way to find the same answer. Okay? And that's very useful in Sudoku because there are multiple ways often. This 4 blocks up here, this 4 blocks up here. That's going to put a 4 in that square. This 1 blocks both of those 2 squares. And so we know that the 1 is going to be there. Now I could have done it like this, 1 blocking across here, and that puts 1 into one of those squares blocking back there, and that will give me a 1 there. Same thing. Now what's left to get over here? This is 3 and 7. Those are the numbers we don't have here yet for this row. We've got 1, 2, there's no 3. We've got 4, 5, 6, no 7. Now we can see a 7 blocking this square, so we know that 7 must be here. And now there's only a 3 left to complete the row. So we've got our first row complete. And where do we look next? Okay, so let's have a look at this row here and see what's missing. What's missing is 1, 2, and 6. That's what we don't have. We don't have 1, 2, or 6. Those have to appear in these 3 squares. Let's look at this digit here, this square here. Can it be 1, 2, or 6? I don't see any reason why not. Can it be 1, 2, or 6 here? Well, it can't be 6 because we've got 6 blocking there, but it could be 1 or 2, right? We don't know which yet. How about this? Can it be 1? No, because we've got a 1 up there. Can it be 2? No, because we've got a 2 here. So it can't be 1, it can't be 2, and therefore it has to be a 6. Now we use this 6 that we just inserted to say 6 blocking up to the top, 6 blocking up here, and that means that's going to give us a 6 there. And again, 6 blocking this square and 6 blocking this square in this column, which doesn't yet have a 6, we can say that that's the location of 6. The numbers that are left here for this column are 3 and 2 and 3 in those squares. Now we've got the 3 blocking this square, or this 3 blocking this square, double blocked if you like. So we know that 3 is going to go there, and the 2 must be in this square. And now there's only 1 digit left for this block here, this box here if you prefer. That's an 8. So now we've got a column finished, a block finished, and a row finished. So we're well on our way. Our 7 here blocks all the way across here, and we don't yet have a 7 in this box, so 7 is there. Now I know that I can get this. I don't know what it is yet. I haven't worked it out yet, but when I see that we have to know what goes in these 2 squares here, I know there's only going to be 1 number left to get the end here. So what's missing from this block? Well, we don't have a 1 and we don't have a 9. We've got everything else in this block, so we know that these squares are 1 and 9. Which is 1, which is 9? I don't know. I have no idea at this point in time, but I do know that either this is 1 and this is 9, or this is 9 and this is 1. And this can't be 1 or 9, so it's got to be the other number. Now when we look across, we've got 1, 2, 3, there's no 4, so we know that that's going to be a 4. Okay. Now what's left at this bottom row here? We've got 2 empty squares here. We've got 1, 2. Is there a 3 anywhere? No, there's no 3. So one of our empty squares here must be a 3. And guess what? We've got a 3 blocking all the way down here. So we know that the 3 is going to be there. And now there's only 1 number left for this row. What's missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no 6 yet. So we know that's going to be a 6. The missing numbers here and here are 1 and 2, but we don't know which is which yet because we don't have enough information from up here. So we have to just not worry about that, not concern ourselves with that just yet. We'll look at it later on. Right, missing from this column here, missing in this column here, we have 3 empty squares. And we look for the numbers that are missing, and we find that they are 2, 3, and 5. Now, the first thing we can do is we can say there's 3 and 5 in this block already. So we know it can't, this square here can't be 3, can't be 5. It has to be 2. And that leaves us up here with 3 and 5 now, and now we can see the 3 blocking across there. So that's going to be a 3. And that's going to be the last digit, which is a 5, so this column is completed. Like I say, if any of this is too fast because you've never played the game before, just go back, rewind, watch it again. You'll do me a favor if you do that anyway. Now how about these 3 squares? We're missing 2, 7 and 9. 2, 7 and 9 here, and I think you can see 2 and 9 are in this block, so that's going to be our 7. And now we're looking for 2 and 9. We've got 2 blocking this square, so we know this can't be the 2. It has to be the 9, and then the 2 is the last number that we need in this row. Now the missing numbers here are 5, 8 and 9, and this time we can find something because we've got 5 and 9 both blocking this square here, which means this is going to be an 8. And there's only 1 empty square here, so guess what? We know what that is. That has to be a 7 because we've got everything else here. Right, okay, we are definitely making progress now, I think. there are 3 empty squares here from this block, and the missing numbers are 1, 3 and 4. And we've got 1 and 3 both blocking this square here, so we know this square has got to be a 4. Now we'll take that 4 and say 4 up here, 4 across there. That's going to give me a 4 in that square. We'll take this 4 and say 4 across here, and up here, puts a 4 into that square there. And that's the final digit 4. There are no more 4s to be found in this grid, because we've got a 4 in every row, every column and every block. So there are no more. There are always 9 iterations of each digit. So what's next to be found? Okay, I think we are lacking 1, 3 and 9 in this column. Am I right? I believe I am. Yes, I am. And we've got 1 and 3 in this block here. So this can't be 1, can't be 3. It's got to be 9. And now the 9 blocks down here, giving me the 9 in this square. And the last number we need here is a 1 for this block. And now we just need a 3 to complete this column, because I just said 1, 3 and 9 were missing, so the 3 goes there. And now we just need a 1 for this column or this block. Of course, it's the same thing. 7 blocks across here, giving me the 7 in this square. And the last number here for this column or this block is 8. 8 blocks across here, across there, and up here, so we'll get an 8 in that corner. And that's the final digit 8 as well. So 4s and 8s are finished. Now we can see 7 blocking up here, across there and across there. That's going to give me 7 there, and that's also the last 7. So 4, 7 and 8 are complete. Let's click on a digit and see if anything looks nice and easy. I'm just going to go through them in numerical order to find stuff easy. There it is, 2 blocking down here. That's going to give me a 2 in that square. And the last digit to find here is can't find you, 1. If you're wondering why any of this takes me some time, it's because I don't play these games ahead of time. I always play live without editing for every game. The hardest level games or the easiest level games, I always play live. So it takes me a while to look for the answer. Okay, the missing digits in this column are 1 and 3, and now we can see the 3 blocking this square. So that's going to be a 3, and this is going to be a 1. 1 this way, 1 that way. So here's our digit 1. Now there's only 1 number left to find in this row. Looks to me to be a 6. And we also have 6 blocking across here, which puts 6 into that square. And the last number here is 2. 2 blocks across here and 2 blocks up there. There's our 2. And the last number here is 5. 5 blocks down here, giving me 5 in this square. The last number here is a 9, and we still need a 9 to finish our grid. So as I say, if any of that was too fast, you can just go back and watch it again. But you need to practice this game yourself. Can't just watch these videos. You've got to try out the games yourself. There are lots of other easy level games on this channel. Good luck. See you around. Bye bye.